So most of you probably know what Bleach Brave Souls is. It's that game that's pretty much solely responsible for keeping Bleach alive after the manga ended. And they've introduced a whole plethora of new forms into the series. The first real major new form was this controlled full hollow Ichigo form, right? From just the one shot in the manga where he breaks out of the full hollow transformation. And they turned that into a whole new character. Then they went even further by giving all of the Espadas new resurrections. And now they're proposing this idea of doing these beyond Bankai transformations for some of the various captains. And I just thought it'd be kind of fun to kind of speculate on what some of the abilities of these beyond Bankai captains might be. We've gotten somewhat of a glimpse into how they're going to do it with the Byakuya. With Byakuya, it was just like, okay, so he uses Shuke Hawk Taken, but he has a little bit of the other abilities like Senkei involved as well. So he has the main, white sword that Shuke Hawk Taken gives him. He gets the angel wings and everything, but he also has swords flying around him from something like Senkei. So we have a short list of characters that we know they're going to do beyond Bankais for. We also know that they teased characters like Aizen as well. For characters that we don't have their Bankais, so Jushiro and Aizen, I'm not really going to speculate on what I think they're going to do for them and what their abilities might be, because it's like, how can I speculate on what their Bankai is going to do, going like even beyond their Bankai when we don't even know what their base Bankai does? But before we begin, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Go ahead and let me know, give me your speculation, tell me what you guys think these characters are going to do once they go beyond Bankai. Do know that Bleach Brave Souls is not Fate Grand Order. We're probably not going to get a whole slew of information. It tends to just be a total crapshoot with the amount of information we get. Like the second anniversary Ichigo, the one that's the controlled full hollow form, that's literally all we actually know about it, is that it's just a controlled full hollow form. But then we also have third anniversary Ulquiorra, the first of the Espada to get his new resurrection, and he's potentially multiversal and has existence erasure at a very high level. So it really is just a complete crapshoot, because then the rest of the Espada really got no information as well. Also, go ahead and leave a like if you enjoy this kind of content. I want to do more Bleach discussion content and kind of balance between the power scaling content, but then also kind of speculating and just doing these more relaxed videos. And so if you guys like these kinds of videos, go ahead and support it. That lets me know that this is content you guys want to see as well. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into this video. Coincidentally, the first character that's listed in their Beyond Bankai, characters that they're going to cover is Yamamoto, and he actually is the one that I'm most interested to see what they're going to do with him. Now, what I think Yamamoto could really use as a very cool ability that goes right with his skill set is just if he had the ability to burn away abilities, right? It would kind of be like a parallel to Toshiro, how Toshiro can seal abilities or quote-unquote freeze them with his adult Bankai, and I think that'd be really cool for Yamamoto because he already has one of the strongest Zanpakutos. He already has sun armor, he can raise the dead, he has insta-kill techniques. This would actually be a very powerful ability for Yamamoto to have, and it gives him a counter to say some other abilities in the verse. So say Yamamoto was fighting, I don't know, maybe Kisuke or something, right? And Kisuke restructured himself, and Yamamoto could use an ability that maybe it was just a little weaker than his normal flames, but it actually just burned away the effects of Kisuke's ability, right? So Kisuke restructures himself, but he burns away the traces of that. It might seem redundant if he's using it on somebody weaker than him, because then at that point he could just kill them with it, but say he's fighting someone that might have an ability that kind of outclasses him, or they have an ability that's giving him trouble, at that point he could actually just burn away the ability and not even have to deal with fighting that ability in the first place. So that's what I think they could do for Yamamoto. I think that'd be very, very good for him as terms of a character. It'd be a nice extension of his abilities. It would make sense. It's staying with the idea of fire. But what I think they're probably going to do is they might just go the edgy route, and they might just give him blue flames or white or black flames or something along those lines, and just be like, hey, look at that. It's even super more hot now. And again, Bleach Brave Souls doesn't give us a whole lot of detail. If it was Fate Grand Order, I would have a lot of faith that they'd be like, okay, we're going to give him black flames, and these black flames symbolize the concept of death or something, and that would be really powerful for him, but I doubt they're going to do that. I feel like my idea for Shinsui is very obvious. I feel like it makes a lot of sense, but there is no way in hell they're going to be going with this idea. So Shinsui's Shikai is that he plays children's games, right? It's a very childlike ability, and then it evolves into a more adult-like ability when his Bankai starts to do the idea of plays. Now, if Shinsui was to go beyond that, and if we want to play more into Shinsui's pervy nature, I think his Beyond Bankai could get into some, well, more X-rated stories, to say the least. I don't know how they would exactly do that in Bleach Brave Souls. Again, if they gave a lot of information, or if it was like actually something we're getting in the manga or like an OVA or a novel, they could further explain it. But it seems so obvious to me, right? The extension of you go from children's games to plays, which are more mature, then you get to like the highest level of maturity with these more X-rated stories. And I'm not saying it has to be like, well, this is very odd territory, but I'm not saying it has to be super explicit, but I am saying it would be more mature, more erotic, for lack of a better term. As for what I think they would actually do with Shunsui, I have actually no idea what they're going to do, because this seems like such the obvious turn to take things that I don't know what else they would go with. Like, are they just going to revert all the way back to like even more simple children's stories or something like that? I don't see them going backwards. I can only see them further evolving the Beyond Bankai. Or perhaps it will just be like he makes a mature game. When Shinsui's Bankai was originally talked about, it was very much speculated that while his Shikai was children's games, his Bankai would be adult games. And by adult games, I'm not talking about anything like super erotic, alright? Get your minds out of the gutter. We're back to normal places, right? Alright? So we're talking about like stuff like chess, or like, I don't know, maybe even like just checkers, which might not be like adult, but you know, you get what I'm saying. So perhaps that could be what his Beyond Bankai does, but that just doesn't really seem to fit Shinsui's character. Like, I can't imagine his Beyond Bankai making a chessboard and moving everybody around like pawns. It just doesn't seem to fit who Shunsui is. So I know it's a long shot, but I'm throwing my money on there on it being like some erotic story or some erotic play. Like, that's where all my money is going to be going for Shunsui. As for Kisuke, Shinji, and Mayuri, I really don't know what they're going to do with them. Like, I legitimately don't even have a guess for them, because the three of them just seem like their abilities are so complete. There's not a whole lot you can do with them without it like just not making sense. They're legitimately going to have to do something like they did with Unohana, where Unohana's second ability is just so far out of left field that it almost just doesn't have any correlation to her Shikai. Because Kisuke's abilities are already just very odd. Like, his base, his Shikai, is that he can make laser beams and like blood shields, and then his Bankai is the ability to restructure things. And it's not like there's a lot that you can change with his ability to restructure or to change what it actually does, because he can already use it to restructure himself, his opponent. It has range. So unless they're going to take on maybe the idea where Kisuke makes Gigais and it allows him to like construct things, like he can construct Gigais with his Beyond Bankai and make like clones or little goons to fight for him, I really have no idea what they're going to do outside of like restructuring and maybe constructing things. Shinji is also even more odd, because for him, his Shikai is the ability to reverse the senses, and his Bankai is the ability to reverse allegiances. His Beyond Bankai, my like little speculation is maybe he just creates like a little dimension where like everything is just truly distorted. Or it's not even that they're maybe just reversed. It just might be like you move right and you move up, you move down and you move diagonally to the right, or something like that. It might just be complete and utter chaos, and he just creates a dimension where it's just literally no logic or anything can be found. Because really with his Bankai, they went beyond just the simple sensory manipulation. They're like, no, he actually manipulates like who you are as a person, and you reverse your allegiances. So aside from just really making his abilities super crazy, again, it's like not very much they can really do with reversal. And then Mayuri's not that I don't think they can do anything with his Bankai. It's just Mayuri's Bankai by its nature doesn't really work for something like this, because Mayuri can already change what his Bankai does. His Bankai at its core is adaptation, because we learn in the 1,000-Year Blood War that the big fat baby is like his true quote-unquote quote-unquote Bankai, and what it does is it births a Ashisogi Jizo that's appropriate for the situation. So I would assume the Beyond Bankai is going to have something to do with that big fat baby, not the traditional Ashisogi Jizo that we know and love. And it's probably going to be based on its adaptation ability. Now, as for what they're going to do with adaptation, that's really going to be odd to do, right? Because it depends on how much they focus on the big fat baby and then the little worm babies, right? It kind of just depends on what they choose to focus on, because they can choose to focus on that adaptation ability, or maybe they'll just focus on, maybe there's just like a whole bunch of little small Ashisogi Jizos that he can sprawl out, right? Because Mayuri's a very weird guy. It's probably going to be very gross, very disgusting, but he actually is the one that I have the most high hopes for, because we know with the Espada resurrections that Kubo had his hands in helping work on those resurrections, and Mayuri, for those of you guys that don't know, is Kubo's favorite character. So if there's one character that's probably going to have a lot of effort put into them and a lot of love being just very evident, being shown in their design and their abilities, it's going to be Mayuri. Finally, there's Gin, who I actually think I have a good idea of what they're going to do. They're probably just going to focus on the poison aspect of his Bankai. Because, for those of you that don't know, Gin's whole Bankai is, the whole snake aesthetic. Snakes are very long, they strike very quickly, and they have poison, right? And that's basically Gin's Bankai. So I imagine that's what they'll focus on, just the poison-based abilities of his Bankai, because that's really what needs expansion for Gin. I mean, I don't think they're going to be like, oh, we're going to make it even longer and even faster, because that's supposed to be ambiguous. That's the whole idea. Like in the manga and the data books and interviews, it's always very ambiguous if that's actually how fast and how quick Gin's Bankai is, because we get conflicting information all the time. That's the whole point. The main aspect of his Bankai, though, that remains consistent is the poison from his Bankai. So I imagine that his sword will maybe change color. It'll get all purple or whatever to signify poison, and then whatever he hits with his Bankai just instantly gets poisoned and hopefully just instantly dies. I think that would be super raw, because we already know that Gin has cellular level destruction with his poison. If he has that on every casual swipe and attack, that's going to be very, very ultimately powerful for Gin, because it's really all he needs. Gin's already pretty strong as is. However, these are simply my humble predictions on what we're going to be getting for the Beyond Bankai in Bleach Brave Souls. I'm very excited that Bleach Brave Souls is putting out stuff like this, because it breathes discussion into the Bleach community, and I think that's very, very healthy for a community to be able to have these nice discussions. It prevents things from getting very stagnant and boring and stale, and so I like that they're doing stuff like this, because it, just gives us stuff to talk about. It's new stuff in Bleach, and it's also very exciting. I mean, it's characters going beyond Bankai. That just sounds really cool just in and of itself as a concept. So I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know what you guys think these characters are going to get for their Beyond Bankai. Let's try to stay with the characters we know for now, although obviously we know that all the captains are probably going to get a Beyond Bankai at some point. But be sure to also leave a like and subscribe if you like this kind of Bleach content. Just know that I'm going to be swapping between videos like this and the power scaling content. I'm trying to upload a bit more frequently. I want to upload at least 2 videos a week now going forward, because we're almost at 6K. 10K has always been my dream to reach, so I think if we can reach there, I'll be super ecstatic and happy, and we're so close I can almost taste it, man. And then from there, I guess the sky's the limit, right? But if you want to support the channel further, you can click that join button and become a channel member. You get access to debates that I will upload in the future and debates that I have uploaded currently. Also, past live streams become available to you. You also get special little chats in the Discord. Speaking of, my Discord is linked down in the description as well, so if you want to join there to talk about Bleach, debate, other people to kind of harden your debate skills, just be able to talk with me directly, I'm trying to be fairly active in my Discord for that reason. All those reasons and more to join, right? And then there's my Twitter as well, that's linked down below, where I just kind of tweet out random stuff. I encourage you to follow me over there as well. But with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. You guys have yourselves a nice day, have a nice weekend, and with all that being said, I'm gone. Peace late.